What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're going to be breaking down the brand new Fortnite dungeon, how to beat the Okama Island, otherwise known as Little Miss Candy, the Maiden Hearted. So this is the brand new Fortnite dungeon coming to One Piece Treasure Cruise Global version, which features the Okama Kingdom, which has Caroline, Elizabeth, and Okama Sanji. And there's also some pretty nice skill books to pick up in this Fortnite dungeon, but without further ado guys, let's get straight into the video. So first things first, let's go ahead and break down the brand new Sanji that is able to be dropped in this new Fortnite dungeon. Now, he does drop as a 3-star unit that you will then evolve into this 4-star unit as you see here. Now, to actually evolve it, you need a couple of evolution units, and you also need 1 copy of Elizabeth and 1 copy of Caroline, which are also found in this dungeon and we'll go over in this video as well. So Sanji Candy-chan is a level 4 unit, a quick fighter type unit, and at max level at level 99, he has just under 2k health, a little under 1000 attack, and nearly 400 recovery, so some pretty standard stats for a level 4 or a 4-star unit. And the captain effect will boost the attack of 2.25 times of all of your units, following a chain of int, psi, and then quick, where you make sure that none of your attacks are lower than good. So this is very reminiscent of the Ivankov raid boss dungeon, the actual unit itself, where you have to get a at least a good with 3 different types of attributes to get the actual multiplier. And this multiplier 2.25 times isn't actually a whole lot. So overall, the captain effect is pretty basic, and the special ability, which starts at 12 turns and maxes at 8 turns, will randomly change recovery, strength, and dex orbs to either strength or quick orbs. So you can partner this up with a guy like Capone to give you a team of full quick orbs. Kind of an average unit, nothing too special about Sanji here. But now let's move on to Elizabeth. Now, the next unit we're going to have a look at here is Elizabeth, where at level 70, she has nearly 1500 health, 700 attack, and nearly 200 recovery. Now, Elizabeth does not actually evolve. When you drop her, she is a 4-star unit. Or drop him/her, you can't really tell. But him/her is a 4-star unit, a dex fighter type unit, and the captain effect will boost the attack of 2 times of all of your units, following a chain of quick strength dex, with attacks no lower than good, very similar to Ivankov and Sanji. Not a very good captain effect overall, and the special ability, which starts at 16 turns and maxes at 6 turns, will reduce bind and silence by 1 duration. So that is actually a pretty nice special, a little bit more use in this special compared to the Sanji special, but overall, like, it is a pretty basic unit and probably wouldn't be seen in too many teams. But now let's move on to the actual boss unit that you'll have to take on in this dungeon, who is Caroline. So Caroline is a 4-star unit, which does not evolve, very similar to Elizabeth, and she is an int fighter type unit. He or she is an int fighter type unit. And at max level, at level 99, he or she has 1890 health, 915 attack, and 300 recovery. Again, pretty basic stats for a 4-star unit. And the captain effect, very similar to Elizabeth, will boost the attack of 2 times, following a chain of a psi unit, an int unit, and then another int unit, making sure that none of those attacks are lower than good. Again, a captain effect that really doesn't see much play, because you're only getting 2 times, and only half of your team is getting the 2 times attack, because you have to get a psi int and an int to activate the actual captain effect. Now, moving on to the special ability, which starts at 21 turns and maxes at 11 turns, will amplify the effects of orbs by 1.25 times for 3 turns. This is actually a pretty nice special. It would have been better if it was 1.5 times for 3 turns. That would be actually amazing. It'd be very similar to guys like Kobe and Kaku as well. However, the difference is that this is a 1.25 times multiplier instead of Kobe or Kaku giving you 1.5 times. So seeing that, it makes this unit a little less viable to use. However, you know, it is a very nice unit still to have in your character box. But now let's move on. Now that we've looked at all of the new units in this dungeon, let's move on to the actual breakdown of the actual dungeon and how to beat it all together. So in this dungeon, between stages 1 and 6, you'll just come across some random fodder units with pirates, seahorses, turtles, etc. And during one of these stages, you'll come across Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth at this stage will have 170,000 health, and an attack power of 1,204 and will attack you every single turn. Now, preemptively, Elizabeth will swap all of your orbs to negative orbs and then lower your recovery for 2 turns. Now, overall, this is a very, very simple stage. 170,000 health is not much at all, and the attack power of 1,200, again, not much to really deal with. It doesn't really do much damage to you, and you know, she'll attack you every turn, but sure, it's only 1,200 damage, and most teams should be able to beat her in a single hit anyway, although you do have negative orbs upon entering the room, so that could be a little bit of a problem, but you know, this stage here, very, very simple, and also stages 1 and 6, you know, as I said, you're going to be seeing fodder pirates, you're going to see turtles and seahorses, etc., and penguins, so it's going to be very, very easy between stages 1 and 6. Now, the hidden stage in this dungeon is the Sanji Candy-chan, who has approximately 200,000 health with an attack power of 4,072, attacking every 3 turns. Now, preemptively, this Sanji here will silence both of your captains for a single turn, so obviously for the first turn when you reach Sanji, you're not going to be doing much damage at all. However, that still gives you 2 turns to deal at least 200,000 damage, and most teams should be able to do that very, very easily, so you shouldn't really be taking any damage upon reaching the hidden stage, and obviously with all hidden stages, the unit that is of target here, being the Sanji, will be 100% drop rate if you do find that hidden stage. Moving on now to the boss stage at stage 7, here we find Caroline and some random pirate units as well. Now, Caroline has approximately 580,000 health and will attack for 3,510 damage with an interval of attacking every 2 turns. Now, preemptively, she'll swap all of your orbs to either recovery, empty, or tandem orbs, and also apply a debuff protector for the first 3 turns. So, bringing a unit like Golden Pound Usopp, Mr. 3, etc., all of those guys are probably not recommended because obviously you cannot use them for the first 3 turns. Now, after that preemptive attack, the next turn she'll actually swap all of your orbs to either strength, dex, or quick orbs. So bringing orb manipulators, depending on what team you have, could be very beneficial for you. Just giving you know, changing those negative orbs into those positive or neutral orbs is always a good idea. Now, after the 4th turn, if Caroline is still alive, you'll actually get silenced for both of your captains for a single turn. Now, that means that if you bring a captain that has 2 times health, or you bring a friend captain that has 2 times health, you're going to get a lot of health cut from your like overall health. So those aren't really recommended in this type of dungeon because, as I said, you know, you're going to get silenced and that's not going to work. So that is definitely not recommended. And then after that, she'll just attack you every 2 turns for her attack damage of 3,510 damage. Now, when she goes under 20%, she'll actually recover all the way back up to 80% of her overall health. So this is very reminiscent of the Ivankov raid boss, where if you got Ivankov below 20%, he/she would recover back up to 50% health. So that means that using one of those zombie teams would not work in this Fortnite dungeon, even though zombie teams are just never good in Fortnite dungeons to begin with. But this just means that you have to burst he/she down very, very quickly when you are approaching that 20% mark. So just make sure that you can burst it down as quick as possible, entering that last 20%. Now, in this dungeon, there are actually a couple of notable skill books here. First one of which being Apu. Now, we have had lots and lots and lots of lore books giving to us in One Piece Treasure Cruise Global version, and now we're finally getting the Apu books to go in tandem with the lore books that we've already had. So, if you don't know what he does, he changes tandem recovery slots to dex, and then deals dex damage to all enemies. So this partners really well with Trafalgar Law, who changes all non-dex orbs to either dex, tandem, or recovery. So if you use Law and then Apu, you're going to get a full team of Dex Orbs. So that is just like a perfect combination. So definitely if you have Law and Apu, try and max him out because it's just a phenomenal combination that works really well against quick raid bosses. Now obviously you got Monkey D. Luffy, as you can see here as well. Monkey D. Luffy Gear 3rd. We've had a lot of Gear 3rd books recently. His special isn't all that great, but if you guys do have Gear 3rd Luffy, you can potentially try and max him out here. Again, we get Nico Robin books as well, which doubles the attack of int units for a single turn. Definitely one of the best specials in the game to just double the attack of all your int characters for a single turn. And also if you have, you know, max orbs, and if you have an orb booster as well, you can just imagine the amount of power that you can get out of an int team. And then we have Sir Crocodile as well, which poisons one enemy. Now this is the 4-star Crocodile evolution, not the 5-star Slasher. This is the Impact evolution. So if you guys have this one as well, you can potentially try and max out his skill as well, because his books are also found within this dungeon. So now let's move on to some recommended teams that I would recommend to you guys to use against this dungeon. So the first one here is a 6-star Boa or a 6-star Mako Psy Burst team. Now you can use Mako because he will actually be available in the next Sugofest on Global. And it actually comes out the exact same time as this new dungeon comes out. So if you're lucky enough to pull Mako or Boa, you can use this specific team, which gives you 7.56 times attack. It's a quick or Psy units when you're above 70% health. So this is a very powerful team, especially because you're utilizing Garp, you're utilizing Mr. 2 as well, so it gives you a full team of yellow orbs, and then you can go ahead and use Kobe and Impact Usopp just to give you immense amount of damage, and definitely enough damage to take out Caroline and all of the Okama Island. Like, this is just a powerful team in general. And yeah, I mean, you could use other units as well as captains. You could potentially use the regular Shanks as well, the 5-star Shanks, or 6-star Shanks, which we'll go into a second. And as you can see here with this team here, it is basically the exact same team, except you're using Shanks instead of the Boa or Mako. And, you know, just both of these teams in general, they're very, very similar. It's just the fact that if you're using the Legend Shanks, the 6-star Shanks, then you're going to be getting a little bit more damage output. However, the regular Shanks does still work just as fine. You're just going to be getting a little bit less with 6.25 as opposed to 7.56 times. So that is your choice. But, you know, some people don't have access to the Legend, so definitely using that Shanks team would be the most, you know, versatile team to take out this dungeon very, very easily. And also, other teams such as Log Luffy teams, Rayleigh teams, and Sengoku teams will have no problems whatsoever clearing this dungeon, as long as you're using the appropriate Psy units as well. So, you can pretty much use the middle 4 units on the top 2 teams in Rayleigh and Log Luffy teams. Obviously, when you're using Sengoku, you need to use units that have 20 or lower cost, so you'd have to replace Garp with another unit, but you could definitely use Mr. 2, Impact Usopp, and Kobe as well, so you just have to find a replacement for Garp in that instance as well. But definitely Log Luffy, Rayleigh, and also Sengoku teams are all definite powerhouses to take on this dungeon as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys have, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.